Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Spendthrift Podcast. Okay, today we're going to mix it up a bit. As you probably know, everything has been dying, and I mean everything. Everything from Bitcoin to Ethereum has been just dying, and it's something. So, instead of, the traditional coin watch that we've been having, because everything is basically halved from what it was a month ago, I'm taking a new approach for this episode and next episode, basically until things get sorted out a bit and you start seeing gains across the board rather than losses across the board. So this coin watch is going to be more like ICO watch, which is basically, for me, is going to be ICOs that have either an interesting concept, or B, a concept that can probably actually do something. I think most of the ones today are mainly an A. They're just interesting concepts that would be pretty cool to see actually happen rather than fizzle out, but we'll see. So, first up is a thing called eCryptGen. It's software to securely store, share, and protect genome data. So it's like DNA stuff. And this is a cool idea because I think gene security will be a big thing in the future, like kind of far future though. I mean, right now you just see people get their genes kind of scanned, I guess you could say. They'll find out their heritage and all that. But keeping these things out of the wrong hands will definitely be a mission in the future. Right now it's probably not that much of a problem, but in the future when other biological things like gene therapy and genetic engineering gets to more sci-fi levels, I guess. So next up, Dentcoin. This one is not some stupid dentist coin, but it's a telecom coin. So basically it wants to break the telecom cartel and take control of mobile data. It wants to allow users to buy, sell, or donate mobile data and either reduce data roaming fees or eliminate them entirely. And in my eyes, it seems like these guys are trying to make mobile data peer-to-peer instead of having to rely on telecom infrastructure, which is definitely good. I don't know how feasible it is, though, because it's just I gotta read the white paper on this one or something. But that's not really the feasibility in my mind. Is not like the technology itself, but people actually adopting the software, because I really can't see too many people adopting some kind of thing that they can buy, sell, or donate their mobile data at the moment. At least I feel like most people would just not do it, because I don't know, with most crypto it's not the easiest thing to do. If these guys somehow made a super easy application that kind of takes care of everything for you and it's basically a click of a button, then I could see it actually making a dent. But then if it actually makes a dent into anything, you can bet that the telecom industry is probably gonna come down on them somehow and do something to break. Can't really break that cartel that easily. We'll see. Next thing up is also telecom related. It's called Zyber. It's a Internet of Things / peer-to-peer mobile service. This one, unlike the other one, is more using cell phones to using your cell phone to make calls. So it's basically a giant forwarding service. similar to what you can kind of get with Skype or Viber. That's the people they kind of compare themselves to. The thing here is spam. Like this was my first thought when even looking at this. Like, how would you combat spam and the like drawbacks of someone letting their phone be used as kind of a number to call other people? Like, would they get blacklisted from certain things or something like that? This one seems a lot less feasible than Dincoin, just because it has a lot more areas that it can just be exploited for bad things, unlike just selling your mobile data. Next up, block ticks. This one, this was definitely on here for A rather than B. The feasibility of this is probably in the area of the last one, mainly because even on their website they say like the adoption of it is something that's really gonna have to be pushed for it to work. But the idea of it is pretty interesting. The whole ticket validation, like easy ticket transfer, and apparently I didn't know this, but they say like one interesting point from these guys is they say they can reduce up to like 90% of the fees from that other ticketing services would charge, basically. So saving a lot of money for people who would use this platform to sell tickets to their events. But like I said, with some of these other things, people actually using this is kind of iffy. But at least with this one, the event holders are kind of like the gatekeepers, and they could definitely funnel people into using some kind of app or something like that to get people actually into the technology. Something I'd like to see kind of work is mainly because messing with tickets, like transferring it to other people, is a hassle, and this kind of like kills that hassle. Alright, and the last one is called Decentraland. It's a virtual reality experience. And from this, it's basically kind of theme parky. People buy land, they own land, and then they create content on that land. And they kind of generate a profit by giving good user experiences. That's why I say this is basically a theme park kind of thing. And I'm guessing the coins kind of just come into play when you're trying to buy land. And the land's finite, so not everyone can own land. Interesting concept as kind of a game kind of thing. But I don't know how I'd feel if it was more than just build your own little virtual reality experience. Kind of glad they're not trying to make it a game and more like kind of a sandboxy Minecraft type thing. I mean, it could work. People love these sort of things and these experiences, and since it's VR, it definitely won't be too gimmicky, because VR is already a gimmick itself. So I think it'll work. I think it'll probably be on the more successful side of projects, especially video game related and in crypto. Alright, time to go to the news. Alphabay, which we talked about last time, apparently it wasn't an exit scam, but they were raided by the feds, and the owner of it got arrested, and he killed himself in jail. So people have been scrambling for another alternative because the guy was raided and he committed suicide. So on a bit lighter but still sad note, apparently Coinbase has been overspending on fees, and some say they were losing up to like 15 bitcoins an hour, which is actually insane and kind of weird in my eyes that they were like messing up on fees, because I covered another story about how somebody, or I don't know if I cover this, but I at least read that one guy from a mining pool overspent his fees, but to have like an exchange do that and do it consistently enough that people are able to track it down that it was Coinbase itself it's pretty troubling, but not as troubling as this next thing. So apparently a Reddit thread has saved $70,000 worth of Bitcoin from being in Limbo in Poloniex. Alexander Levin had 70K. Imagine that. 70K worth of Bitcoins locked in Limbo. Oh, so the story behind this is his account got hacked, but they weren't able to withdraw the Bitcoins because you have to do the email confirmation. But the hacker managed to enable two-factor authorization because he didn't already have it active. So this led to his coins being basically stuck in a limbo. So he issued a support ticket, but the support ticket apparently, it was a month past and it didn't get anywhere. So he opened up a Reddit thread and the issue was resolved way quicker. My thoughts on this is kind of like, really, it took basically public embarrassment or like a public outcry, like a negative image that could form for them to actually do anything about this. I know they're like an influx of users, but Poloniex has already been kind of like on a bad streak with being slow with wall repairs and already known for kind of bad customer service. I'm sure they're overwhelmed from all the people. Like I said, overwhelmed for all the people just pouring in the last month, but they're really poor on the customer service is going to cost them in the long run, especially when the customer service involves people's Bitcoins being locked up for a crazy amount of time. And that's all for the news today. On to the last section of the day. It's Monday, so it's Mentality Monday, guys. And today's topic is compounding based, but not just compounding with money, but also just with work in general. How, you think when you're thinking, you think you have to get everything done at once, finish everything at once, but that's not always the case. Just much like money, a small amount can build up to something great after, few years pass, or in some cases a few months. Just think about that thing you really wanted to do, and imagine if you spent like an hour just doing it every day. Imagine how much you'd get done. You don't always have to sit and get everything done at once. So just remember that you could just take your time with things. As long as you're getting something done, progress is being made and something will come out of it eventually. I mean, take this for example. I spend a bit of time every day for 2 times a week. I know if I was doing this every day, there's no way I could keep this up. But because it's only 2 times a week, I have ample time to do a little bit every day to produce a small amount of content for you twice a week. And you could do the same thing with virtually anything. Websites, articles, podcasts too if you want, videos. Just, you could build anything as long as you're putting some kind of progress into it. And I think that's where we're ending today. So this little end section is going to be an announcement center for the future. Because sometimes I've been kind of inconsistent in kind of putting it at the beginning sometimes. Either at the beginning or just the random parts at the end. But now we're going to be more consistent and have any and all announcements at the end. And one announcement is, if you've noticed, I've had like the explicit title just because I was lazy and wanted to cover my bases just in case. But as it turns out, as I go back and look at, I don't really curse all that often. And I just think it's easier for me to hold in something than go out my way to do it. So that tag's being removed. And also, summer's coming to an end. But that's actually good for you. Because the closer the summer ends, the higher chance that the quality will improve. Why you say that? I mean, why do I say that? Well, I've been having these weird, like, routine during the summer. It was very haphazard, I guess you could say. Not really. It's like a routine that's not a routine because it starts not at the same time every day. So I guess you really can call it a routine, but that's besides the point. Basically, with a more organized life because the end of summer, you'll get more quality because I'll be doing productive procrastination after the summer ends on like productively procrastinating on this instead of doing other things. So it's time to end this rambling on. I'll see you Thursday. Who knows what's happening Thursday? All I know is it's going to definitely be another ICO watch and not coin watch, because I doubt anything's going to recover by then. So, see you Thursday.